Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Friday, my favorite day of the week, usually. What is up? We are going to be playing some Friday fast for me anyway, blitz challenges at the rate of 5+3 casual style challenges. So everybody's welcome to play. Normally I do subscriber first challenges, but Fridays I try to give everyone an equal chance to play. So it's not going to be just subscribers first. We're taking open challenges, but you do have to have an established account. I don't want to play people who created their account 5 minutes ago. So approximately 100 games, 100 blitz games or more, and you're welcome to challenge. Masturbate, what's up, man? So, Masturbate, Mule Skinner, guys. Mule Skinner is going for game 199. This will be game 199 at 5+3. Mule Skinner, your rating is, it's a bit suspicious. I think you're sandbagging your blitz rating on purpose now. we had a good subscriber stream last night. We got a chess book today at a bookseller. You mean yesterday? Mule Skinner likes closed positions. It's hard to get a closed position against the Scandinavian since e5 is not really a good move for white. So you're getting like forced an exchange of pawns early on. This is my anti-Mule Skinner approach. Let's see what he's got here. Pleasures of Chess. 1952 book. Sounds like a classic, Astrobate. I don't think I have that one. That sounds like, you know, the kind of book you'd find at a used bookstore, typically. Well, nowadays, that's actually kind of a dinosaur. When I was starting out in the 80s, back when there were dinosaurs, I would find books, you know, of that era relatively. That was what I used to do often, just scam old bookstores. Not scam, but scan old bookstores for, you know, build the old chess library the cheap way. Nowadays, chess books are expensive. New chess books are expensive. So Mule Skinner went back to the drawing board and came up with theory. I don't remember what he did last time. It was something weird, like I think he played CD and bishop b5. So he just either listened to me or just investigated on his own. Queen b3. So now I play two different lines. There's knight takes c3 and e6. Let's try this. The older line. Rio Tact, what's up? I didn't sleep much last night. Almost blundered here. Usually they don't recapture with the pawn. The main move is, that's the older move. Speaking of dinosaurs. The main move is actually bishop c4. Threatening a mating attack. I mean, I guess it's not even, it's basically a mating attack with bishop c4. You got to give the piece back. This is the older way to play. It's written with you in mind. What is Asiac? Asiac. Astrobate. So, it was a bad night for me. My mom passed away last night in the night, and I didn't sleep much. It's been an adventure and a journey with my mom being ill for like the last year basically. So I got a call in the middle of the night that she had passed away at the hospital. But I don't know what to do with myself other than continue with my normal program. So is what it is, but she's at peace now. So I figured I'd share that with you guys, especially Asterbait and Muleskinner, who are regulars, two of my most regular friends here on the stream. So I'm probably going to be going back to the United States in the next month or so to try to sort things out. Asiak. I don't know about that author. It's kind of a weird name. But my mom was in really bad condition. She was suffering and she had Alzheimer's and she was really sick. So I feel relieved that she's not suffering anymore. So I thought about not streaming, but I don't really have what else to do. I think it's best for me to just keep my mind on doing my job. So white's pieces here are very active. Rook, bishop, everything. I mean, that's the beauty of the Panoff type position, but it's not really Muleskinner's thing. You know, he specializes in closed positions, as I said. Now white's starting to build up on e7. Yeah, Asterbait, my mom finally passed away. Thanks for all your supportive messages in the past and stuff like that. Really appreciate it. Here I'm like, bishop e6, that's a good idea. Rook takes e6, wins the game immediately. Peter Svidler, like exchange sacrifice. So what are we gonna do? Like e5 would be a good break if I could make it. Maybe I can make it. I'm a little concerned about bishop e4 actually. With probably good reason to be. I feel like I'm tied down really bad to e7 now. I'm not going to get another chance to play g5. But I guess bishop g5, maybe queen d6 is okay. Pick a diagonal, you know, Muleskinner. If you go here, I'm not playing queen d6. If you go here, then likely I'm playing queen to d6. Last move, I didn't have e5 because of bishop e4. It looks like. Freddie, what's up? I'm taking challenges. Anybody with an established rating in Blitz, of like more than close to 100 games or something. More than close to. Very grammatically correct. So he goes the other way with bishop a3. That rules out my plan, my master plan to play e5. That is kind of irritating. I'm having trouble getting counterplay against his structure without can always sack the exchange. Knight a5, queen b4, knight c6 looks like a draw. Draw. I guess rook c8, I'm on the verge of losing material, right? Like d5. Maybe that's not a problem. Can develop. I have a bad feeling about this. Bearing down on c3 makes sense. Logical developing move. I can play rook c7, laterally defending like Karpov when I get the chance. Chess critic. That's what I am. I'm essentially a chess critic. Talking smack about Magnus Carlsen. My own rating plummets below 2400. Should play something that makes sense like G4. It's the Grob. It's the one day of the week he plays chess with the expert in mind. I never really thought of it like that, Asterbait. It's interesting. So you equate the faster time control with the expert in mind. I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think players of all levels enjoy like faster. I'm surprised you don't like the faster challenges, Acerbate, because you actually play quite quickly, and you often, well, you almost always don't use all your time. So you'd actually do better. Technically, you'd do better if you played faster time controls. All right, as I said before, I mean, Karpovian School of Defense. Look, Ma, no weaknesses. I shouldn't joke about that. My mom is at peace now. H4. That's an aggressive move, man. Wow. You spoke about G4. Now he goes and plays H4. I'm seeing weak squares. Obviously, H6 runs into bishop takes G6. An almost crushing blow. Anyway, H6 just weakens my position. Where's my counterplay, kids? I'm not sure this is a good move, but it's something. Time limit is scary, causes you an issue. Well, don't want to like give yourself stress issues. Constant time pressure is probably not good for the anxiety disorder, if you have one of those. This is really irritating me. Did I blunder yet? Probably. Could have played bishop e5 last move. But instead, he's thinking about something else. What's he doing over there? This was definitely not expected. The heck? Well, he's just defending his pawn. I was wondering what that was about. Something not right about Mule Skinner's rating. Something not right about my rating, too. I should be like 1900. Just dropped a rook and he didn't take it. My God. Pressure is just continuous. Yeah, his rating isn't right. What? I dropped a whole rook and he didn't take it, fortunately. Oh, he saw that too. Wow. This is seriously not right about his rating. $16.77. Dude, that's not right. Alright. That's not right, man. $16.77. How do you have $16.77? Whatever. And you're good at time pressure. I mean, I should have lost. He had pressure on me all the way. Actually, it was a great game by White up until when he didn't take my rook on c7. I think he played really well. There's actually a game here. Some Finnish guys. I was probably okay, and then the h4 was a really good plan. You found a way to attack now. Around here I started like not knowing what to do. a6 was bad. And then White's just better. Apparently I missed a move here, e5. I don't even know how that works. I could have won a piece. But I mean, it's difficult to calculate that. I mean, I'm looking at like queen f6 and mate on g7. When you look at something like this, you're thinking, okay, whatever, you know, pawn takes pawn, bishop takes, queen f6. Oh, you're getting mated, you know, but then it comes back. Game destroyed by time pressure. Chess Kudo. No cheers. I'm not really good, but my mom passed away last night, so we were kind of waiting for it to happen. She looked like she was gonna go at any time. I told my friends on Monday I thought she was gonna not make it to the end of the week, and it's true. But it's for the best because she was really not doing well. So I could say that I'm really in a terrible way, but actually, when someone's really sick for a long time, I think it's just better, you know, that she's like not suffering. I'm just gonna continue doing what I do, you know, but it does mean that I'm probably gonna be. Anyway, I probably would have been going back to the United States probably in the beginning of May. In a couple of weeks, like 3 weeks, I think we'll have to go back to the United States. Freddy 1900, winner of tournaments. Thanks, Mule Skinner. Mule Skinner playing game 199. But it's different, you know, if you suddenly lose someone, or they were sick for, you know, 6 months, like as the case was with my mom, with various things. But she had kind of Alzheimer's disease that was getting to the advanced point, so it was a multiple. There were multiple problems. She had pneumonia at the end, but I don't know. I think it was just too much from the Alzheimer's. So Marazzi, great way to play for a win with black. I'm just gonna keep doing my thing. Got to keep working and being a chess influencer and social media guru. As you can see in my stream title here, oh, we've encountered your browser encountered an error. Let's try to refresh our browser. You guys can hear the ambulances here from Budapest live. That should be a good stream title. Live Budapesti ambulances. Guys, we had a great subscriber stream yesterday. I want to thank everyone for supporting the stream. Some generous donations from Blowbee, Jim, Concordians, Asterbait, and others. Thanks, you guys. Live. There's something wrong with my player. I can't play my own video on Twitch. I've encountered this issue recently But now it's back again today. Asabate Cheer 25. The F3, not really that common. I swear to God, I think I just heard a cow moo. That was really weird. Don't know what that was about. A bit scuffle. With F3, I'm like never really sure how to adapt to that. Maybe I'll just play knight d7 straight up. Then he goes with some sort of attempt to attack me on the king side, or what? Maybe. This is kind of weird. I should really look this up. Because normally I play with my bishop on d7. But here it doesn't make as much sense because white's played f3 already. It's almost like you should try to take advantage of it some other way. I guess it could transpose to a Gurgenidze, so-called Gurgenidze variation, where we try to pressure this guy or girl, as the case may be. As you prefer. These pawns are gender fluid. He just castled kingside, so all my fears were misplaced. Okay. Now my bishop's on the wrong square for the normal blockade plan. So we'll revert back to the Gurgenidze style. The idea is that you have the option of castling queenside in many lines. Freddie, the only person I've seen do that is like Sam Shanklin in this weird game he played in the Olympiad a couple years ago. Okay, and the Gurgenidze that does... Wow, I mean, I don't know. There's like one or two lines where they can do that. You can... It's... I don't know. I've seen like not castling and doing like h4. I don't know about castling queenside, you know, in the Marazzi. Generally speaking, that's not correct. I guess there are some situations where it can be done. But I have seen h4 just kind of like starting an attack before you're castling at all, which I guess could come out of this. We have almost like a standard position, but something's weird. Feels like white did something wrong, but what? What could white have done wrong? Okay, king h1 maybe. I mean, my only plan is like a6 at this point. John Shaw recommends that, but I mean, if you play the plan with a5, it's a good idea to castle queenside. It sounds pretty non-traditional. Well, in John Shaw's defense, he did win a game against me once. Wasn't in my best form that day. But I still have my... Let's just say I'm skeptical. You just looked it up, dude. What do you mean? You're not allowed to look it up during a game. What are you talking about? Looked it up. Okay, illegal. You sort of tricked me into playing a position that I don't normally play. Very much. He's claiming he looked it up. Okay, report him to lichess for cheating. It is an unrated game, but I still don't think you should look things up. Okay, in the spirit of our chat and stuff, it's okay, but Don't use the opening explorer. Somebody was doing that in my simul, and they didn't know any better. They're like, oh, I'm using the opening explorer now. You're not the first, Freddy. You won't be the last. So, wow. Does this just like win by force for white, or what? It looks completely unfair. Rio tact, who are you talking to? I don't have any team games lately. I had a few weeks off. I only have like one more game. Before the end of the season. This move was an afterthought. But apparently he was using an opening book for the game, which isn't really fair. All right. Down a pawn. With more time. Alright, I'm just gonna resign. I don't really like when people give me more time. It's not cool. And I don't like when people use opening books, so let's see what's up. So he claims that F3 is recommended here. Yeah, dude, but you can't use an opening book when you're playing a blitz game against people. It's immoral and it's against the rules. So this is Kasparov against Racek, King H1. I don't have an opening book, you know. I played A6 here, apparently a mistake. And now F4 according to the opening book. So white played this all with the opening book. It's cheating, basically. Okay, Chess Kudo, what's up? I'm not here to play people's opening books. All right, E4, C5, knight F3. This is a good move against A6. This is the strongest move probably against A6. We can try to play the French type positions. What about D5 right away? It's probably the right way to do this. How to improve in chess. Actually, somebody was asking yesterday. About me recommending a book for players who are around 1500 or below. And something flashed through my mind. I didn't have a good suggestion. I didn't have a good suggestion last night when I thought about it, because I don't really teach people from a book, especially for beginners below 1500. But I have a lot of recommendations for more advanced players. But I was thinking about it, and one book that is really out of date, but which should be, it really should be updated, is Lasker's Manual of Chess. I don't know if anybody here knows that. Yeah, a lot of people are cheating using opening books. It's really easy to do. It's difficult to prove. I got really irate about it. Like when I first started streaming, there was this player who was around 2200, let's say, coming to my streams, and every single game they were like playing the opening perfectly, and I became pretty pissed about it. They think that using an engine is cheating, but using an open book isn't. It's just as cheating as using a chess engine to play your moves. So Chess Kudo don't know it. So I was wondering if, most German players, I would assume, would know, Lasker's Manual of Chess, because he was German. But I know you're Dutch, but you're close, at least, I'm American and Hungarian, sort of. But Lasker, at least, has like a tradition in Germany. So, but the thing about Lasker's Manual of Chess is that I think that it maybe has never been like written in like an algebraic version. I'm kind of curious, though. I haven't looked it up. It seems like it would be a great book to publish like a modern version of. His approach is really systematic. I think that would be, you could read the older version. We can check online, obviously. I don't know what to do now. This is kind of weird. I don't know what to do. I've never played this. No, I think it's more complete than my system. It's like it's a whole book. It's like a cheat. It's like almost like a manual, literally a manual for people to learn the game. It has a lot of information, a lot more information in it than like Nimzovich. But it's kind of like the edition I had, the old one, is really hard to kind of read because this is a bad move, but I'm running out of time. I don't know what to do. All right, we'll just play a bad position. Chess Kudo was c3, very strong. I have a bad advanced French now. Lasker's Manual of Chess. I think a good recommendation for anyone, especially players under like 1800. He always plays c3 anyway. Yeah, I should probably not play this French style setup, since I don't normally play the French. Transposing to a structure I don't feel as comfortable with. A6 also weakens my queen side a little bit. These squares. You can't have a chess competition online because of opening books and engines, but I think the opening book use goes a lot undetected. There's basically really no way to... I guess you could actually prove it if you match it up statistically enough for the people's games. You can essentially make an accusation that they're always playing like a mainline continuations, but I don't think that lichess has a means of checking whether people you know, follow the opening book constantly. But that actually irritated me a lot when this player 2 years ago was doing it. Then they were like denying it, but it was obvious, you know. I even made a video about one of the games. Like, there was this like sequence of sacrifices that was still in the opening book, and they even did that, you know, in this one game. It's like, white is good here. How are my bishops doing? Unfortunately, e5 allows knight takes d5. Quite a nasty tactic. My development is way behind. I can't play e5. I mean, I could play it, but I can't capture on d5 if white takes there. It's a pretty bad position for black. All right. .95? Wow. What do I do? Now I'm really on the cusp of losing. So if I take on e5, knight e5 to e5, bishop e5. I was afraid of queen h5. Attacking my bishop and mate. But am I stupid or something? Bishop takes e5, queen h5. And then if g6, bishop takes g6. Oh. Okay. Nasty tactics. I guess I'm lost here. Just getting crushed by everyone. Interesting. Having a good time now. I'm skeptical that white, you know, didn't play quite the best. He still has a raging initiative, but he may have made some inaccuracies. Now it's like I'm alive. It's a very dangerous situation where I'm not losing by force. It looks like. Yet, the active word. I'm not losing by force yet. What? The heck is going on? It looks like he got excited. Spoiled a really, really good position. They're like hallucinations. This is just a massive trade. I know one thing, I'm good at the opening. One thing we learned today, I'm really astute in my opening play. Immediately I was like in a horrible position after 5 moves. After c3, e6. I guess the best is just d5. I've played this before. You can also play knight f6. But anyway, white c3 is the best move. Some people like c4. One of those two. Uber driver, Cheesy Noob. Cheesy Noob, change the time challenge. Sorry, the time control to 5+3, please. All right. Now I'm feeling a little bit more awake. Yeah, Chescudo was probably winning. I didn't see like which winning move it was, but I'm sure it's there. I was teaching one of my students to learn to play the Nimzo Indian the other day, and it's, you know, it's interesting. I play this opening in a very hyper modern style, and it's not that easy for people. I just take it for granted because I've been playing against this opening and playing it, you know, a lot throughout my career, more so in the last 20 years. But it's like I just take for granted how hyper modern this opening is. I mean, it's not easy for classically minded players to play the Nimzo. Am I supposed to castle first? I don't even remember now. B6 or castle? Yeah, my intuition says that Chescudo was winning in that game. Winning is a relative term. Another player who's like more confident than me in the opening. Like every single game, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing in the opening, as well as my opponents, who are much lower rated. So he castled bishop a6. That's nothing, Chescudo. I screwed up a plus 22.5 the other day. This is all Turkey Farms here. This is all theory. I was recommending this line. Yeah. Lift driver. So this is Karpov black against Yusupov. It's a famous game. But here black has several different moves. I think Karpov played CD CD, CD, D5? Is that right? That doesn't seem right. CD, CD, D5? So does that make sense? CD. Now I'm completely confused. But what other move do I have here? Knight D6 I like the best. This is what I was recommending to someone the other day, but I was trying to remember the second line I looked at. No, I did something wrong. Or did I? Maybe not. I guess this is right. I've never actually played this. This is what the opening book said the other day when I looked at it. There were a bunch of draws, and the engine said the position was equal. I'm allowed to look at it a couple days ago, you know, and then remember it and play it today, but I'm not allowed to reference it, you know. Now, while I'm playing the game, the human brain is allowed to remember the opening book. I'm not supposed to actually see it now. Thanks, Chescudo. You deserve to win. That was terrible for me. I know better than that. To allow an exchange French where I played A6. Just, my move CD was bad last game. It doesn't help me to release the, or trade off my C5 pawn for a C3 pawn. Now, this was not mentioned in the opening book. Everybody in like 5 games played bishop takes C4 in this position. Uber driver with theoretical novelty, queen E2. Like a very logical looking move though, to be fair. Playing this position for the first time. Knight E3, bishop A6. Now my knight is almost trapped, so I'd have to play knight to G4 there. And I don't know what to make of that position. Then there's like bishop B7, rook B8, bishop C6, DC6. And like my whole structure seems to be collapsing. This is what I get for blindly following recommendation of opening book, huh? No, but I ran Stockfish on the position and I thought it was equal to, and I thought bishop c4 was the best move too. So there must be something for black here. I mean, I can play knight a5, definitely. The thing is, this eternal pin I'm in. Knight a5 was a pretty weird move. You know, then his bishop goes to like d4, starts to look pretty good. Maybe it's not a big deal. Knight on a5, I don't want to do that if I don't have to. Well, I don't really have an attack turkey farm. I look specifically at knight e3, bishop a6, knight g4, bishop b7. There I have queen h4 apparently. Then h3. If I take on g3, he takes on g4. Maybe then I'm okay. This looks suspicious. Oh, he just instantly recaptured. Okay, that's weird. Well, it feels like white kind of let me off the hook, I guess is the word I want to use. Taking on c5 was possible. I'm not a materialistic kind of person. I just want to have a safe position. Knight e3, what? Knight e3, bishop a6, why not knight takes f1? Yo. Yo. Okay, you had that. I had that? Maybe I'm overlooking a simple capture. Okay. So I'm being stupid. 93 bishop a6 knight f1. All right, guys. Sorry. Yeah, good point. He couldn't do that. He's losing an exchange. All right. That's why he instantly recaptured on d3. So the whole thing was like based on faulty analysis, not seeing knight takes f1. That's what happens when it's early in the morning and you've only had one coffee. Yeah, Rad the Brown, thanks for the simple point, you know. Obviously, I can take the rook on f1. Does queen c5 check even have a logic here? But anyway, all I know is that all games, like 5 of them, went bishop takes c4. So we were right to take on e3, and I spent 2 minutes thinking about a move because I didn't see knight takes f1. Luckily, I still played it. I like our structure here, though. I mean, I think that black may, in fact, just be better based on the pawn distribution. Technically, we both have 1 3-pawn island and 2 isolated pawns. It seems like white's pawns are more accessible. This h7 pawn is like impossible to attack. If a weakness falls in the forest, does it make a sound? If a forest falls in the forest. Alright. Maybe I should have played rook a7 there. I think that he honestly has enough to hold here. If he played super well. But now I have the better king position too. This may be a draw. Very well may be a draw. Sneaky chess tricks. White gets 2 pieces for the rook on that line. In that line. Knight e3, bishop a6, knight f1, rook f1. Sorry. Now's not the time for me to think about that. Rook endgames. I love rook endgames. And he found that. Master had that. But now he like can just kind of hang on. Is this a good move? I don't know. Now black is clearly better. You mean rook takes h3 is not a threat, Uber driver? We have h4. Melting down his pawn structure. Bloop. This is very, very strong. I don't think that white can defend now. Because h4, knight g4 is like mate. And if he doesn't do that, I play h4. Probably lost for white. Only -2. Rook b8. So it's not like a forced win, but it's very, very bad for white. Okay, that was interesting. Let's see the opening book. So, knight takes c4. As I said, 5 games. Bishop takes c4 was played in all 5. So Uber Driver played a theoretical novelty. Queen e2 here. Second best. Now he found knight e3 after thinking for 3 minutes. The only move. Took me 3 minutes to play the only move. As I said, knight a5 is possible. So knight e3. So if he plays bishop takes a6, knight takes f1. I don't know why I didn't see that. And I'm just winning. There's no 2 pieces or anything like that. So he simply has to recapture. Yeah. And this is like forced. Bishop d3, queen d3. I should have taken on c5, but I played the second best move now with queen e7. Because I'm not a greedy guy. Anyway, we're playing better now, a little bit. 16 cent a pawn loss. One mistake, apparently. G takes f5. What? I played G takes f5 question mark? Oh, I should take this with check first, but I was afraid d7 was hanging. I don't really get it. Like, okay, here, what am I doing about this pawn? I don't understand. What kind of variation is this? This is good? Wow, here, have an important pawn. The computer likes this. I mean, I guess black's better, but my king is kind of open now, so wasn't intuitive to me. Guys, thanks for watching as we influence chess through social media. Yeah. I can't get my player to work. It doesn't matter. I don't need to watch my own stream. Just as long as you guys can watch. That's what really matters. The important things in life. Maybe it's working? No. I have an error. But error number 3000. Does anybody know what that means? Aterus. Not sure. Somehow you got a mating net at the end. Yeah, the knight and rook, pretty nasty. But you got a nice little trick there. If you play something and I take on h3, you trap my rook with king g2. I saw through your clever plan. What elo can we start? I love this question. What elo can we consider a player start to be good? 2600, I would say. 2650 maybe. No, I'm serious. You want my honest opinion? But the answer is that it's all relative. I mean, I'm a great player and I'm a terrible player. It's depending on whose perspective you're looking at it from, you know. This is a really difficult question to answer. Okay, so the Albin, a favorite of Somewhat Unsound, one of our subscribers. Compared to Magnus Carlsen, I'm an awful player, you know. Compared to most people, I'm a great player, but that doesn't matter. You know, we can all appreciate the game at our own level. Knight on g to e7. So this hasn't worked out for me. I played a couple of games in this line, and I'm not getting anything. I may have to go back to playing like the kind of classical g3 move. Bishop g5 is a move here. Uber Driver, that kind of touches upon what I was talking about with move 11 and telling him that like he doesn't have enough draws and that he shouldn't expect to do like dynamic stuff all the time. I mean, chess is sometimes just a boring game. And I equated it in an analogy with like fishing. You have to kind of wait for the opponent to make a mistake. A lot of people can't play like that, you know. I mean, and maybe they don't enjoy playing like that, and maybe that's more important, you know. Like, you have to enjoy the game. I mean, if it doesn't have a sense if you don't enjoy playing. That's why I hate to see like kids who are forced by their parents to play chess. What am I supposed to do here? I guess this is just okay for me, right? Like I take on d4. Maybe he's supposed to play knight f5. I guess that's it. That's what move 11. That's what someone on sound plays, knight f5, defending the pawn. So I'm just supposed to take, like knight takes d4, bishop e4 check, bishop d2, etc., right? It's all good. Knight takes, queen takes. It's just a trade of pawn for pawn. I don't somehow blunder a piece. It's basically Merle's cousin. I mean, Uber driver's cousin, Merle. No, Uber driver. I'm crazy. I always get you guys mixed up. I don't know why. But it's a lot like the, what's it called? Budapest Gambit. This is just good for white, I guess. You're Mr. Hyde. He's Dr. Jekyll. Chess Kudo's back. I mean, chess is a lot of different things to different people. Depends on what you want to get out of it, you know? If you like playing bullet chess and crazy house, that's fine. That's not my thing, you know? I'm kind of more old school. I love pure chess. I play some chess 960 sometimes. But that's more for me. Chess 960, not because I really enjoy chess 960 that much, but I think it's kind of it's a good training mechanism, you know? Learning to coordinate the pieces in chess 960, I think, is useful. If there's any, like, variant that's useful for improving your normal game, I would say chess 960. It's the closest to normal chess, but also it's about like a really good way to basically force yourself to better coordinate your pieces, to learn to better coordinate your pieces, because they're all in these messed up squares in the first rank. Fanatic Chess is hosting us. Thank you. So please donate, support the stream. Don't forget I have a YouTube channel. In the future, life will be changing. Constant state of change, right? Constant change. That was one of our old viewers, actually, oddly enough. What's the difference between a game of 5 + 5 and 10 + 0? Well, 5 + 5 + 5 could technically end up with more time than a 10-0, right? I guess. How? I don't know about the math. I'm not a math guy. It always irritates me when I go to like family gathering or friends social event where people are like, "Oh, you're a jazz player." No, I'm a chess player. The first thing they think you said jazz player. No, I'm not a jazz player. I'm a chess player. Okay. Oh, chess player. Oh, you're a chess trainer. You mean you do like upper body workouts? No. I teach people how to play chess. The game, you know, the game with the pieces that you have on the board. Oh. And then they're like, "Oh, well, you must be really good at math." I'm like, well, I dropped all my math classes in college for the most part, except for statistics. Knight f3. I guess knight f3 is like the safest, technically. You could be a jazz player too. That's right. I have a friend who was a jazz pianist, Bogdan Holownia, from Poland. I don't know if he's still alive, but he was a good jazz pianist. And he was a good blitz player. His favorite player was Critic. He used to carry around a little book of Critic's games. Critic, who recently passed away, like last year. He was this guy who loved to sacrifice constantly, worse than Tal. Yeah, jazz players. I hate when people ask if oh, you're a math person, you play chess. Chess is many different things. It doesn't have to be about math. I like geometry and I like statistics. You know, those are the two fields of math that I really appreciate, but I never really took math that seriously. You're awake late enough. Actually, camel culture, I was just asking why we were so short of camels recently. It seemed like a dearth of camels. There's nothing better than a dirty, grimy pawn up rook end game with very little losing chances. It's like Cohn Rubinstein, except I'm up a pawn. It's a famous structure. This Rubinstein like penetrated with his king down on h3 in king and pawn end game. It doesn't hurt to have an extra pawn. Why don't we play Rubinstein Cohn with an extra pawn? That's messed up. It's got to be better than the original. You can't be bad to trade rooks when you're up a pawn in a king and pawn game, right? In this case, I'm going to have like a protected pass pawn or something. I mean, maybe black has a draw somehow. I can't imagine I'm losing. You guys are just here for the ambulance noises, right? That doesn't sound like a normal ambulance. There's these other official vehicles that sort of exploit the siren usage. Yesterday I saw this like army fire vehicle. Okay, basically Lalo just up the screwed. Let me see this though. I think once you trade rooks, you know, there's still a small chance that maybe white's okay there. Let me just, for argument's sake, see this. If we try to do Cohn Rubinstein, I mean, I have this at one moment. The question is, what about black's great king position? Could that possibly save him? Probably not. Let's see what the oracle says. F4. So there's no contest. I think this is the killer, right? Because now we have like e4 whenever we want it. So you can't play king h3. It's probably lost for black. What if there's a draw in a tournament? It's like Brunei. They take you out and they stone you. No. Draws are a legitimate result. Draws, a lot of people despise the concept of draws, but it's a natural result of a good game. I have too many draws because I play too conservatively of late, but I think that it's important that we accept the draws are a part of the game. It's not like a terrible thing. You know, we should lose instead of being draw. Play like a man. It's part of the game. You know, you just have to accept it and move on. And it's really important in tournament play because a draw is a half point. It's a lot, actually. A half point is a lot more than 0. So it's an important art form to learn how to like save bad positions and gain a half point in a tournament or something like that. There's a big difference, you know. Okay, a lot is lost here on lichess when you're playing like arena tournaments or whatever. The goal is to win like tons of games. Camel culture hates draws. But you gotta really accept that saving draws is an important part of being a good player. Okay, cheesy noob. Watch out for that rated challenge. Apromea, I've got to ask you to re-challenge me to 5+3 casual. And Akachi also. You guys could challenge me to casual 5+3. That's the only time control I'm playing now. My advice for a beginner, Aderus. Well, that's kind of a general question. You need to play a lot and study a lot, you know, combine playing and studying. Like, one is not enough. You need both. You can probably get to master level by just playing a lot in Washington Square Park, but you'll learn a lot of bad habits and stuff. I mean, maybe you get to 2200, but then you get stuck there forever. It's important to have like a kind of good fundamental basis, and then you have sort of like unlimited room for improvement. Still looking for a mod. Anyway, guys, my mom passed away after an extended illness last night, so likely I'm going to be moving back to the United States for the summer. The stream will shift. The stream will shift when I move back in May, probably the beginning of May. Yeah, well, it's not a bad thing. She was ill for a long time, and we expected it. We just didn't know when it would happen. And I thought the last time I saw her, I told my friends on Monday that she was gonna die. But then the doctor like yesterday was like, well, the pneumonia is getting better. But if you looked at her, you'd say, well, this person is not long for this world. Anyway, so it's a blessing, I guess, you know, that she doesn't have to suffer anymore. But anyway, it will affect us all because I'm going to have to go back to the United States and take care of her estate and her things. I didn't expect it necessarily to happen. I had just moved my mom. I literally just moved my mom to Hungary 7 weeks ago. And I thought she could live for another 5 years or something. But she had Alzheimer's. Really, it's really a sick disease. So anyway, the plans have changed basically, to make a long story short. Let's try just this violent knight move. Plans have changed. I think around the early part of May, I'm going to be flying back. And I'm still going to be working. I still have to work. I have to support myself and my family. So we'll be streaming from the United States, I think. In about 3 weeks, I'll be going back, it looks like. Thanks, everybody, for your condolences. But it's not a shock or anything like that. It's just it was a matter of time. I did everything I could. Over the last, if you watch my stream, I've been talking about it a lot in the last 4 to 6 months. But it's kind of inevitable. Cheesy noob. Anyway, just so you guys know, don't be surprised when I'm off the air for like a week and come back around the middle of May. Probably the second week of May, I'll be out from streaming for like a week. And come back in the middle of May. But we've still got about 3 weeks before I'll travel. I think before I'll travel back. And we'll do the streams from USA Eastern Time again. So life moves on. But I was kind of relieved because my mom was suffering. It's not easy. So getting books of tactics and stuff to learn, right? Adoris asked, I'm kind of partial to strategy over tactics because I feel like tactics are easier to learn. Strategy is harder to learn, and I think you gotta learn it right. Tactics are tactics. You can learn tactics on any chess site just by doing them by rote. I respect strategy more than tactics. I was just talking about this though. I don't think you were here, Adoris, but like for players who are beginners, I never really recommended this book, but it occurred to me yesterday that recommending the book Lasker's Manual of Chess is like a classic chess book by a former world champion. It was kind of created as that, you know, basically a book to teach beginners, you know, a good model of the game. So I think that, I mean, Lasker really teaches fundamentals in Lasker's Manual of Chess. The principles that I'm applying, you know, when I'm streaming: control the center, development, and king safety. That's really his three big ones. Fossilifigo says, I'm studying that Lasker book right now. That's amazing. Do you have like an algebraic edition of that? Because I have just an old, I didn't know if they've even published it in algebraic with algebraic notation. I know that the original one, in English version, was published, of course, in descriptive notation. But I mean, you know, he was a German champion. I would think that like that book was probably like originally published in German. So you have this descriptive one. I wonder if it's just never been. It would be insane if that was never published in algebraic with an algebraic edition. It's a little hard to believe. It is hard to follow the book if you have the old version. Not quite sure how to play this. Knights versus bishops is always an interesting contest. Should we go for space? Black has like no space here. I can't play c4. I mean, I could play c4 if I can drive that away. I have a friend whose teacher was a German master who immigrated to the United States. And he was the one who, this guy, Joseph Platz, he like played in a random US championship maybe once, but he wasn't that strong. But he was the reason that my friend started the game learning through Lasker's Manual of Chess. But I mean, you can't go wrong with someone who's like world champion, you know, and one of the greatest players in the history of the game. There's just no going wrong with that. Cheesy Noob playing kind of tough. It's closed position. Chemiculture, thanks, man. Yeah, Platz was Lasker's student, and he immigrated to the United States to like Connecticut. So I wasn't heavily influenced by Lasker, but later I did read the book, and I mean, I really like Lasker's game. I have huge respect. I have huge respect for his game. Lasker and Steinitz both were two of the best players of all time. So the whole school of chess emanating from Lasker and Steinitz, right? Exactly, Uber driver. Platz was in Connecticut. So that's how I came to be familiar with Lasker's Manual of Chess. I mean, you can find it in any bookstore. It's published by Dover. It's one of those old Dover edition chess books. But as far as I know, it's never been picked up by another publisher, never been republished in algebraic notation. As far as I know, I mean, you would assume that someone would have done it, but if they didn't buy the rights to it because they didn't think it would sell enough or something like that, it's possible it's never been republished, which is crazy. I would imagine that actually that that's why I keep saying about German, because you would assume the book would have been published in German as well. And they probably have like a kick-ass edition of Lasker's Manual of Chess in German. I can't imagine how they wouldn't, you know. Unless the rights are like, I mean, I don't know how like book rights work internationally. Can I just take on c5 here, actually? That looks like a problem. Turkey Farm. I didn't even see your comment, but it's right on. c5 is hanging, isn't it? But maybe this is a brilliant defense by black. Now what do I do? Turkey Farm makes it sound so easy. It's like playing Nimzovich. I'm talking about Lasker, but I'm playing Nimzovich now. Rydak said it's been republished. I guess the key question is, has it been published in algebraic notation or not? Space. The final frontier. That's it. 2-for-1 sale. All right. I wonder if he just sits tight, if I can, you know, easily break through there. Okay, we got more challenges. Zen Chess, good to see you. Radagast, Fossifigo, Couchy, and Unicorn. By the way, guys, I'm giving you're looking on Amazon. Apparently, they have a version now with extra pictures. An intro by Mark Dvoretsky. I'm curious, Superdriver, who's published that? Does it say like who the? It might even say like who the publisher is. Dvoretsky involved, eh? Probably whoever Dvoretsky published with, but not necessarily. Okay, Zen Chess, Radagast. Let's go, guys. So I think the Lasker's Manual of Chess would be, especially a modernized version, would be an awesome place for a player, like a beginner, to start with a really good fundamental. Bloby, good afternoon. Morning. Russell. Han Russell. 1790? 1790 is the price or the year it was published? It's like a small chess publishing outfit. What's up with this, Zen Chess? f3. So what is it? d5, bishop b5? That's weird. Isn't that a good for me? Isn't that a good for me? So d5, bishop b5, de, knight takes c6, queen takes d1 check, king takes d1, a6. Is this one of those variations? Bishop a4, bishop d7. It looks like one of those. Is it Lombardi-Fischer? Russell's rating, Hannon Russell's rating. He's stronger than that, I think. I think that guy was close to master. I'm not sure. Is he still alive? Probably. I don't know. He stopped. He was the creator of what was it called? A good chess website. They used to publish a lot of book reviews and stuff. Now it's gone. You played who? Lombardi? Could have played Lombardi. Lombardi passed away, what, like 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago now? You're talking about Hannon Russell. So what was the name of the chess site he used to run? That's now like, it now sucks. It's been like sold off or... Oh no. Shaw has all kinds of recommendations of f3. Are you kidding me? The guy's obsessed with f3. Earlier, someone was using a book to beat me with a Marazzi with an f3 Shaw recommendation. Shaw has dreams of f3 in his sleep. It's a Scottish guy he became a GM. He's a border GM. One of those like me, if I got the GM. Just kind of got there barely. If I make it to GM, I'll be a border GM. Sort of like border master. If I ever got to 2,500. I told a story about, who was it? No, I can't remember. I forgot my own story. Anyway. A photo with pandas. No, those are our sponsors. Panda is my mascot, and that's Micro Panda. Oh, you were joking about f3. Okay. Well, I mean, my main variation was, as I said, calculating bishop b5. g5 is tempting, but it looks a little over the top. I never know if this is a good move. I mean, we're essentially forcing him to weaken himself, but at the same time, it's almost like a, let's say, indispensable move. Yeah, I could have played bishop a6 right away, but my gut instinct was not to play bishop a6 till he wastes the tempo on his bishop. This is a creative way of trying to defend the b-pawn. B-pawn. Welcome to b-pawn town. If I take, he plays knight b3 and my rook gets digested into white's position. Like it's a Venus flytrap or something. The Venus flytrap theme. It's possible I have some chances there, even like an exchange sack or something, but it looks pretty vague to me. I'd rather not and say I did. Now there's no more bishop a6 either. So he really took the fun out of life with knight b3. ideas? Isuak is suggesting Cyrillic moves. Queen a5, I think. It's getting more interesting now. Like rook takes b2. The Marauder. Okay, the Queen a5 is an interesting idea. Another Nimzovician position. Want to take that pawn badly. My rook still can get trapped. Rook needs pawn badly. I mean, there's more to life than pawns. Maybe we just play something stupid like this. Arbitrarymoves.com. I didn't see anything concrete. I don't know what to do. We're introducing a new theme. The problem is the time. Guys, on Sunday I wanted to say, I see the announcement there from Mubot, but I do a simul every Sunday. We're going to simulize Sunday. 25 players. This week I still don't have any team game. So we'll play a 25 player simul on Sunday here on lichess. Pont.org. Hungarian is pont, like a point. Dot is pont. I live in Hungary. That's why it's relevant. All right. Just sharing random knowledge with you guys. lichess.org. Yeah, Zenchess is strong. He's got a lot of talent. He's also hard to kill when he's in time pressure. He does a good job of hanging on with increment. Plays well with increment. Plays well with others. Not everyone plays well with increment. A lot of people like don't manage their time well, and it seems like Zenchess naturally does pretty well with the increment. A lot of people don't. Birdies are chirping. Bishop d3 will come with tempo. Weakening my position, but this f5 at any moment, you know, that's like a time bomb. Don't really want to see that. Both kind of making waiting moves. Whoa. Darn it. So he can just do that. Those birds are serious. I have nothing better than just keep the tension now. I can't believe it. h5, h4. Ah, there's no way to break out against Nimzovic. What am I going to do? Zenchess has been hanging out with my system or something like Chess Praxis. Very, very Nimzovician play by Zenchess. Birdies are calling. Eat my knight on d7. Masterful play by white. The sacrifice of b2, sacrifice of g2, multiple combining ideas. Wow. Oh no, he has e6 now. He sees everything. I'm almost busted. Birds are driving me crazy. This is like a perfect game by white. He's playing like God. Look at his score lately. This is horrific for me. I'm just lost, I think. Strategically lost for black. I went a little over the top, okay? The blitz. drop a piece. Got a check. But he's fast and strong. He's played this game like brilliantly. Okay, what I did with h5 was too reckless. But every turn he like shut down anything I could do. Just lost on time. It's a winning position for white. I was about to make the best move, for whatever that's worth. But what a performance. So in this position, when I expect b3, he comes up with knight d2, like a really good bluff, essentially. I couldn't really rationalize how I don't get my rook trapped on b2. Computer wants to play this, but I thought knight b3. You can do check or whatever you want, and then the king goes to f2. And I just couldn't rationalize like what I'm gonna do. For a computer, it's easy, you know. But basically, I was scared to go into this without a lot of time to think about it. So that bluff stopped my first idea. Now here I just wanted to maintain the tension. You know, that was an interesting move as well. I wanted to play g5 immediately in this position. I almost played this. I was like, no, I don't want to do anything crazy. Like, this was really, I think, a very sound approach, actually, for black. But I was like, okay, rook b8 is a little bit safer. This is also a strong response. The engine doesn't think either of us played very well this game. But I was trying to maintain the tension to a point. And then, like, I'm like, well, at least I'll have that. You know, he'll never be able to castle. And this was too much. Like, h5 was just too much. But my problem is if I play d4, you have knight e4. And I don't understand why this is... I guess I can just take it and take on b2. And I win a pawn. Even though you have pretty good bishop. It may not be that bad for white if you can just get out of there. You know, probably. My pieces sort of suck, so I don't think this is necessarily lost for white. My instinct was to not allow that, so I tried to maintain the tension, but my king gets bad now. And this is just... I already had just 18 seconds left with increment, so... I guess, I don't know. I should just play king f8, king g7 like I did in the game. This is too much. Too late now. Apparently I was okay even here. If I close the center. This would have prevented him from playing that pawn break that he did. Yeah, I mean, this is devastating. Now it's just lost. I tried to maintain the tension in a position where I couldn't maintain the tension. This is just over. My king is just baked here, ultimately. Like, it's going to take him a few moves, but with this pawn moved up, yeah, this is crazy. So, good game. Can't win them all. Radagast, Fossifigo. Try to play a few more games. I've got to go in about 30 minutes, guys. All right. Radagast. What color are you? Radagast the gray? What is it? Radagast the white? I can't remember. Radagast the red? Nice game by Zen Chess. Last time we played A6 and White played C3 and I was hating my life. I had another bad Sicilian today. Zen Chess with that stupid line. Rad the Brown. That stupid line he played now, F3. Man, I'm really not having a good Sicilian day. A reverse King's Indian. Theoretically, I don't like this move. You know, I think that White should probably try to maintain the center. But I guess it's playable. You're just giving up your center early. It's a King's Indian with colors reversed. Why not? You have an extra move. I'm not going to play E5 like a classical Sicilian here. That's another viable approach. Being down a tempo, it seems safer to do the fianchetto type setup. Riot Act, I don't know what position you're talking about with Rook FD1, but I think from the point where I played H5, it was a little bit losing control of reality. Losing touch with reality. I don't have control over reality. So can I play B6, or is there something wrong with that? Like with the diagonal, the way it is? You have to be careful these days. So I'm not really sure what the best move is here, theoretically. That's an interesting thing that Riot Act said. You watch those lectures on chesslecture.com. I don't know what lectures you're talking about, but they weren't by me. Zen Chess. F3 there. In that position? Not against the Najdorf? Like, I understand F3, like, against Knight F6 or whatever. Like, Zoli Varga, my teammate, used to play that. But it seems like in the position where you played it, really? That's much more rare. I don't know what that is, technically. I don't know what to do here. B6. B6 should be okay. Uber driver's Queen D7. An interesting suggestion. Interesting. I do that in a symmetrical English. It might even be good here with the idea of B6. There's something weird about it, obviously. I thought about it. Yeah. It's not that stupid. Actually, I mean, Queen C7 is a more normal move in the fianchetto type setup. You go here and Rook D8 when available. We want to pressure along the D line. Uber driver's idea is like here and here and here. Sort of delayed fianchetto. But I don't think there's anything wrong with B6. I'm like looking at ridiculous things like C4. I mean, C4 is positionally grotesque. I'll sack an exchange or anything there. After losing I thought you said losing a lunch, I begin witting, making me have Freudian thoughts about food, masturbate. After losing a bunch, I begin winning because of thinking about the center. Okay, d4, very well. Mandatory. Acerbate, you have to concentrate on fundamentals. That's all we have as human beings. We're not computers, you know. You have to make shortcuts in your thinking. You can't rely purely on calculation. I mean, I guess a few people can, but that's very rare, you know. I think that it's just too time consuming. You know, you got to rely on principles to guide you in the game. So things like focusing on the center. A strategic repertoire against Sicilian by Hungaski. He recommends f3 against everything. Hungaski, yeah, I heard about that. Okay. I've never actually talked to Hungaski. He seems like an interesting person. Relatively well-rounded type of guy for a chess player. Like me. But unfortunately, I've seen him, but we never talked. Interesting guy because he grew up like in Argentina and the United States. Dual perspective. All right. But anyways, I don't think that, you know, it's an all one-size-fits-all approach to f3 in a Sicilian is necessarily completely appropriate. What are we going to do here? Let's do rook, rook first. Rook, rook. Rook, rook. Rook, rook first, and then queen check and some sort of... Oh, no. Now he has queen f3. Goodness. I may have committed a minor inaccuracy. It's alright. I mean, if I have to play queen d7 and rook e8, fine. So be it. Probably I should have played queen d5 check. Then he has queen f3. Trade queens, and then, you know, he's probably equal. Like rook c8, bishop d2. It's not that bad for white. Rubinstein could win with black. Did I know Eric Schiller? Well, it's kind of like a Hungaski type of thing. Like, I've seen Schiller and been at the same tournaments with him, but we never spoke. But a friend of mine was very close to Schiller. I'm sure we had a lot of mutual friends. I think that f3 makes sense against almost anything, but I'm doubtful about knight c6 Zen chess. That what I did there is good for black, and that other line I mentioned is kind of critical. So I'm not sure how he's gonna make that work there. That's the one weak spot for f3. If you're trying to force it there, but you can wait, you know, and do it. You know, you should wait and do it the next move. Essentially, you're doing it a move too early. Maybe he recommends e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, cd, knight d4, knight f6, knight c3. But then again, I mean, is his repertoire going to work? I don't know how he makes it work. It depends on what he's recommending for move orders and stuff. I like the approach, having a kind of, you know, systematic pawn structure that you're playing. But I just don't think that specific position is very good for white. So you have to find a different way to play f3. You play knight c3 and then you play f3. Take on c3 instead of queen d7. No, his queen is defending. That's the whole point. That's what I missed at first too. But bishop takes d4. Oh yeah, no, I looked at it, but it looked inconclusive to me. You want to sack a rook on c3? Maybe I didn't look far enough. I didn't analyze like that far actually. So takes, I forgot that I take on a1 a whole rook and nothing but the rook. It's interesting. We'll look at it after the game. Maybe it actually worked and I just didn't look far enough. Wouldn't be the first time. We have a bad... This is straight up Akiba Rubinstein. Tarrasch. Standard Tarrasch. Rubinstein, rook endgame. Like rook a4 and gang up on the two weaknesses. But the queens are on the board, so it's not a rook endgame yet. What about this move? It's like he's trying to play g4, I think. We might have to get violent here. Oh, that's not a good pawn. Like he's trying to do this, but he can go cross his plans with like e5 at some moment. I'd love to trade queens if I could. And obviously you can try to target the pawn. Yeah, he did. Maybe e5. Seems kind of crazy. Is this even good for me? Bishop is hurting. Okay, guys, I have time for one more game, looks like. Falsifigo. I gotta go in like 15-20 minutes. And nice to see this. Every game is a Sicilian. I love playing against the Mora. So many good ways to play against the Mora. What a crap line for white. It is probably good enough for a draw. I'm just teasing. It's good enough for a draw. I mean, the Mora is basically a good way for white to try to equalize against the Sicilian. It also cost me my only really good chance at a GM norm. The only time I ever lost against the Mora was this really important game. I didn't realize it at the time, but it probably made the difference between me making my first GM norm or not. Brad the Brown. I'm not sure if you were doing okay then after g4 and I did the crazy e5. Maybe that was a bit over the top. I was talking about this position with one of my students, and we were saying how like knight e5 is possible, but I don't like really wasting time with that maneuver to try to pick up the bishop on c4. Azerbate, see you Sunday. Guys, I have a simul on Sunday. It's going to be 6:30 p.m. Central European CEST, Central European Summertime. No, there's no time for knight d4. Oh, knight d4. Wait, what? I have knight d4. Oh, that's weird. There's a trap with that, Uber driver. Isn't there some trap? We talked about this, the exact position, like last week. If knight d4, bishop takes f7 check, king takes f7, and queen c4 check, wins for white. It's a nice try. It doesn't work. This is all like book. I've had multiple games like this. Yeah. The knight rhino. This is like the theoretical way for white to play. Oh. I blundered. My bad. I'm supposed to play queen b8 first. So falsify go. He's falsifying the position. Now I could be in serious trouble. I just messed up the move order. I played this position like 100 times, and I've never never allowed that before. Great. I guess I just resign now, or what? $1,600. Yeah, I mean, if you look in lichess, I have like 50 games with queen b8. But I didn't know the Falsifigo was a Mora expert. Maybe I can sacrifice something here creatively, like knight d5, pawn d5. That probably doesn't help. Maybe I have a solution. No solutions. No real solutions. Yeah, I mean, maybe I can survive somehow here. I sort of doubt it. It looks like good for white. Understatement of the day. Just for losing to a 1600. I lost to him once before. 1619. He's a little underrated. Like, so many other ways to win. There can't be that many ways to win. You're black, and I mean, there's like the d3, give the pawn back, which isn't very good for black. The only way to play is to play the black side of the c3 Sicilian, and that's better for white too. So you can take your pick, man. I mean, I don't know of so many ways for black to be better. I don't know of any, to be honest. You can be slightly worse than a c3 Sicilian. You can play the feedback, the pawn variation, which is slightly better for white. I don't know what you're talking about. It seems like taking the Mora is the only way. So now what? Knight takes, bishop takes, knight e4. And I lose a piece, or what? Looks like in all variations there's some sort of tactics. Right, I agree with Uber driver. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. I just blundered. Bishop takes 94. Maybe I have some move there? Seems like everything wins for white. Unless I can sack my queen, like rook d6, knight d6, rook d1, knight c4. Maybe I get enough material in that kind of line for the queen. Here, knight e4, e5. Looked interesting. Bishop d6, knight d6, knight e4, knight e5. .58 seconds left. I'm sure there was a way for white to be winning. Bobby, thanks for your donation. Jim and Asterbate as well. So what was my idea here? Knight e4. Okay, knight e4, queen e5, queen h4. That's a problem. I could just take on c4. I mean, that was my original plan. Why vary now? Escaped. Tragedy. I guess I should take that pawn. Like Larson recommended. This guy's a scary dude. How is he 1600? Another question like Mule Skinner. I don't understand why people are like 1670 and play like Masters, or 1619 and they play like they're Masters. What is that about? Like, either you're 16 or you're 22. He missed rook d8 there. Now I'm fighting for a draw, I guess. Up a pawn fighting for a draw. White's queen is so active. He missed rook d8, which was like clearly better for white. I was so stupid not to take on b2 before. I mean, before queen b3, if I just play queen takes b2, it's like probably white is lost. But just forgot. I have to constantly watch out for back rank mate now. I mean, what's up? Again, I might be better. Rook d7, queen b1 check. I don't know what this move does. I mean, I guess now queen c2, okay. What happened? Slightly passive formation for black. He's 1400 in bullet. Finally played queen b8. 20 moves too late. Oh no. The other way it didn't work. He was always winning my rook or making me retrieve my queen with like queen d3 check. So this is pretty lucky. This is terrible. God. Played so bad. He's even better here after queen takes a6 apparently. So this is my best move, but he plays queen e4 check. Now I have to trade queens. It's just equal. So I didn't want to do that. Man, but the opening was stupid. I forgot my own move order. You have to play some kind of defensive move here other than castles. This is horrible. After e5. And then I don't know. The engine is like losing a pawn with knight d7. Okay, let's see. Knight e8. Am I lost? E takes d6. Computer wants to play knight takes d6. And it's like not so sure. This is weird. So it looks like I really did the best move, like bishop takes. He has all different moves, but knight e4 is the best. But I have e5. So here he just plays like this. The computer says this with a long-term pawn sack. This is nasty. Very nasty piece pressure. I escaped the jaws of defeat. And then I played badly a second time. Should have taken on b2. Alright guys, it was fun. I gotta go. Sunday I'm going to be doing a simul here on lichess and Twitch for your pleasure. 25 players, 6:30 p.m. CEST. And we've got 3 weeks of streaming from Budapest. And then I'll probably be heading back to the United States in May to take care of things around the other side of the pond. So 3 more weeks from here, guys. And we'll be moving the stream time back yet again to the USA. I will see you later. Thanks everybody for watching and subscribing, supporting the stream. And I will see you guys on Sunday, as I said, 6:30 p.m. And it will be a 25-player simul. Thanks guys for supporting the stream. Check out my videos on YouTube, video chess training on YouTube. Also, please support the stream with a donation. You can support the stream with PayPal or Streamlabs donations or just some bit donations here on the site. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay, guys? Thanks a lot. Take care. And the panda will say goodbye. 2 pandas. Hey, I'm all present. See you guys. Bye-bye.